What was the deciding factor that prompted you to write Echoes from 10B? How was it that book writing venture supported you during this your writing process and the phase of writing? How is it that they were able to help and support you? What would you say to aspiring writers or new want to be authors who are considering maybe getting help or doing it on their own? What would you say to someone who's asking you about their writing process and then your relationship with book writing venture?
Uh, yeah.
Hello and Happy New Year to everybody. I am Melissa Guccione and welcome to Book Writing Ventures Empowering Voices podcast. Well, we're starting out the new year with a powerhouse of an author here today, you guys. And we're going to get introduced to him in just a moment. And first, I'd just like to tell you I am your host, Melissa Guccione. I am an author and a client with Book Writing Venture, and I'm also an official referral associate. So I have a lot of connection with Book Writing Venture, and we are going to start our podcast off again this year with a powerhouse author, Nanthan Selvaratnam. Now, I understand, Nanthan, that you just became a best-selling author. And so I'm very excited to speak to you about that and then the origins of your book. The title of your book is Echoes from 10B, A Boy's Journey to Hope. And that title alone caught my attention. I felt emotion immediately, A Boy's Journey to Hope. So I look forward to getting in this with you. Nathan, welcome to Empowering Voices podcast. And thank you for being here and taking some time to share with us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Melissa, for first of all, thanks for having me in your podcast today in the beginning of New Year. So, a little bit about me, Nanthan Selvaratnam. Just recently published a book called Echoes of 10B, A Boy's Journey to Hope. I've been getting a lot of good reviews about it. People liked it, and a lot of readers, they were able to connect to the story at some way.
Yes.
I'm happy about the feedback, and I would like to thank Book Writing Adventure at this time for bringing my vision to life with the editing and publishing. So thanks them as well. Yeah,
it's good to have somebody when you're in this business, isn't it? When you're writing, there's
for
a lot
sure.
more to it usually than you think when you get started. So to have some professional help and encouragement, coaching, and support probably changed everything for you, I would bet.
That's
I'd
right.
like to start off with, I know you've had a great many experiences. So, what was the deciding factor that prompted you to write Echoes from 10B?
So yeah, I will start with so a little bit about my background. So I was born and raised in Sri Lanka, a tiny island tip of India. So we migrated to Canada, and we settled here due to civil war back then, back home at that time. So it's been about the place I left, my birthplace. I left about 30 years now in 2025. So
Okay.
the idea about writing the story, the book now, came about when we booked a trip to Sri Lanka in mid October. So the 30 years, I was thinking about, a lot has changed, right, in life.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to leave something for my kids. So I thought, I'll just write something, simple thing. So just one idea came, I just wanted to write. And then when I was writing, I was on the floor. It's like it was coming a lot more naturally. So, and then I was telling my wife, I think, I can write more, and then maybe we can turn this into a book. And then I was doing a little bit of research and then made that the stories into manuscript. And then, rest is uh, the rest,
Right, it starts to come, it flows along after, right? Like you get that first out part out, and then you're like, wow, it's just flowing along. I love that feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. And we know that writing is a big undertaking. We made a few points to that already. Can you walk us through the process? You started that just a little. And then how did you continue? Like, did you face challenges? Did you need to set a schedule, or did you just grab time as you found it? Tell us a little bit about as you worked through the process of writing.
Yeah. So when I was writing, so like then after I told my wife, and she was very supportive, and then I have two young children, so like time is a little harder, with the full-time
It's
job
thin,
and
right?
then
It's
this,
thin.
yeah, yeah, full-time job as a software engineer on the side, and then I always find time for myself, but still like finding time to write continuously for about a month and a half
Mhm.
with the editing process. It took about about 2 months altogether. But yeah, so I always like find time when for example when my son goes for soccer, I'm watching their 1 hour playing him, so I'll bring my laptop and then
Nice.
write a half a chapter or something
Yeah.
there. And then
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
so and then after work or late nights I started writing more. So, and then I wanted to like tell the younger generation about the struggles I went through, and then the resilience, and then a little bit of a hope, right? So they can connect in some way. So that's what I was trying through this book.
Nathan, absolutely. The we all need hope, but the children, um, they're our future. you know,
Right.
to use a very common quote, but they really are, and they need to have the sense of that somebody cares about them, and that there is a reason for them to keep trying to make themselves a better person. So I love that you have the idea, hope for the young people, that even during their struggles, that they can find some way to keep going.
That's correct. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful sentiment. How was it that book writing venture supported you during this your writing process and the phase of writing? How was it that they were able to help and support you?
So yeah, like I mentioned, as I got the manuscript at some point, and then I listed what I wanted to write in each chapter. So I got that down, and then um, I'm sure you remember Madana from A Daughter of King book, and then
Yes, I do.
she referred me to book writing venture, and then that's why
Excellent.
I got introduced as a referrer. So then I knew I can like if somebody refer, and then you put a trust on them, right? So then and
I
then
agree.
then they did a great job. So um every time like once I had the process started, and then they would review chapters. I think they were in a different time zone, so they will do like 3 4 chapters and then send me for
Mm,
feedback, and then I'll review it, send it back to them. So they did really good job in shaping up the story and with the proofreading and editing. Then yeah, like then we like I spent extra time, so we made the process like very very faster. uh,
yes.
so yeah, that's how they helped me
That's
with
very
the,
supportive. I know that back and forth. I'm also in the process of finishing my book with book writing venture,
oh
and
nice.
yes, indeed. So we're going back and forth on those last few bits right now, but it's very exciting at this point because we're close. We're very close.
Oh, good luck, good luck.
Oh, thank you so very much, Han. I actually do have a couple more questions about your book itself. Would
Yeah.
you give the audience a brief overview? I started reading it a few days ago, and I'm just enjoying it so much. But let's give the audience an overview uh, about the story and the plot for there.
Yeah. So Echoes of 10B. I'm just gonna show the book
Beautiful.
quickly.
Yeah.
So the story of this is a story of an ordinary boy who born into middle class, and when so the book describes about childhood a lot,
Mm,
the memories from childhood. The universal language of childhood is like enjoy little things, celebrate small victories, kind of thing.
yes. Yes.
The book describes a lot about friendship, love, the first crushes you had, that you don't know,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
love. And of course, and then there's a lot of the struggles, and then come how the main character, comes out of the struggle. So
Okay.
that's that's the that's the touching point. Um, yeah, that's pretty much
Very good.
it is. Yeah.
That's very helpful, and I love the artwork too. Again, also very impactful, and it lends to the title and the subtitle. So I look forward to keep reading that, and I'm enjoying it so far. Very good.
Yeah.
Um, so how is it that you are marketing your book at this point? Where are some of the places, or which kind of media are you using?
So mostly I'm using social media platforms
Okay.
such as Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn
Okay.
profiles. Yeah, and then word of mouth is reaching out people to slowly. I think the time we released the book is a good timing just before Christmas, and people had a little bit time over the holidays to read it.
Nice.
Yeah, mainly social media.
Okay, good. I know, and I'm learning that also. It's a valuable tool. A little in depth, but valuable. Got to ride that roller coaster up and down.
Yeah,
I always look, this is my favorite topic of all of the book formats, is an Audible. And so I always look to see. I didn't see that you had an Audible, at least not on like near Amazon or anything, but is that something that you might consider? Had you thought about that?
yeah. You brought up a good point. Yeah, a lot of people mentioned about Audible because not a lot of people are readers, and sometimes people when they travel and stuff, they wanted to listen to it,
Yeah.
and it's not a like a huge book. I didn't go a lot of one of the feedback I got is like it's like people like close to my circle, they knew there is some stuff I'm holding it back, so they mentioned it is not detailed enough, but it's okay.
Oh,
Some of the stuff I didn't want to go details, but I am considering into an Amazon Audible as well. Yeah.
very good. Okay, good. Well, if there's something that we can help you with or answer any questions, you let us know, and then that's something that we do offer as a service. So, if that's in your future, we can discuss that for you if
Definitely.
if
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can help for that, hon. So now you're a best-selling author. First, I just have to ask, how does that feel?
This feels good. When I published it, I didn't really think about all that. I think I'm slowly getting that synced into my mind.
Yes.
So yeah, I am going back to my birthplace soon. So when like that's gonna be a vacation, so I'm gonna rewind and let that sink through and
I bet.
enjoy the time, I guess. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's going to be so great for you to make that trip. And my next question actually was, what else is going on in your life? So, is this a big family trip that you're going to be making, or just by yourself, or what's going on with
Yeah,
that?
it is a family trip. So my wife and my kids, like my wife was born in Montreal. So
Hmm.
she had never been to Sri Lanka, same as my kids. So this is the first time for them. So it's gonna be uh, good adventure for them. I'm gonna show them the
Absolutely.
places I been to, and then what I did, what school I went to, and then some of the remarks on the books, and they can connect to it
Yes.
easily. So that's a plan.
That's going to make that, and make it very real for them, very memorable. What ages are your children?
They're 10 and 8.
Oh, they're good ages. That's still good
Yeah, my
before the
daughter read
teenage
it
years.
and then she enjoyed it. So yeah, they're in the right age to go. They won't miss much in school, so this is a good time.
Oh, that's going to be a trip of a lifetime. Good for
For sure.
you. Take pictures. You
For
might
sure.
have to have a sequel to your book. Who knows? Just about your family's trip. What would you say to aspiring writers or new want to be authors who are considering maybe getting help or doing it on their own? What would you say to someone who's asking you about their writing process and then your relationship with book writing venture?
Yeah, I will definitely recommend book writing venture. But for those the creative minds out there would like to write about something, I would say don't hold it back. Whatever comes in mind, just write it in, some simple forms like Google Docs or something, and keep writing. Everybody has a story. This is
Yes.
mine, and
Yeah.
keep up your creative and imagination and bring it to life. And yeah, reach out to book writing venture if you guys need any help or uh, yeah.
Yeah, even answering one question can help, break a stopgap or a block, and that, can open the doorway. Even just with one question answered could help, move the writing process forward.
Exactly, yeah.
And there's a lot of answers at Book Writing Venture. So that's very good. Um, so now, is this your first book that you wrote, Nanthan?
Yeah, this is my
Okay.
debut one. Yes.
So being an author is still relatively new. And how does that impact you first personally, and then, if at all, professionally in your career?
um I mean, like I said, I needed some time. It's still fresh. I needed
Yes.
to sing in through.
Yes.
But yeah, like professionally, there is no issue. Like I was doing this on my side,
Yeah.
on the side whenever I get time. So, but the whole thing, it just feels like everything went so fast. So I needed some time to reflect on it. But I'm
Absolutely.
happy. I'm happy that I was able to channel through everything I had in my mind, and I'm happy I was able to bring it into a book form, right? So yeah, I'm happy.
And that is a very good place to be. I know we need that a lot more. Let's see, darling. Um, well, I would kind of like to know a little bit more. Let's talk about your book again, and tell me the how much of yourself were you bringing into this. So it's actually considered a fiction. Am I right on that?
Yeah,
But
that's good.
obviously you brought your real life experiences into this, and again, you don't have to go into any details you're uncomfortable with, but a lot of these events and things that happened were from your real life.
That's good.
And so just walk me through. I know it's some of the emotions maybe, or was it difficult when you had to write something about something that was hard for you in your past?
Yeah. So yeah, some of the stuff when I went back on it, it was hard. about what I about what I saw. And you are right,
Yes.
it is
Yes.
fictional, and it is based on what happened around me. It's just not about me. It's just what happened around me. So I brought up a lot of characters that was more close to my heart,
I see.
and important to the story. So yeah, I was describing, how that all that events shaped up Bo's life, right? Um, in a better way at the end, right? So
Saved the boy's life. Is that what you said?
that's correct. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why the title of the book, The Echoes of 10B, the 10B was the classroom number. That's when I left my birthplace in 1995. There's a small town called Jaffna in Sri Lanka. So that's when we left my home, right? Like that was the only home we had, and then we had to leave the place due to civil war. And we lost everything. And at that time, that was the first time for me, right? I was the age of 15, and leaving everything suddenly, without any notice, nothing. We're just leaving just like that. It was very hard. I couldn't take that easily, because for me at that time, a childhood, that was everything, even though we
Yes.
weren't like
Yes.
well off, but we were in a middle class family, where life was perfect. I was doing really good in school, sports, and everything. So leaving everything behind was really
Wow.
tough. But then just after that, there's so many other events happen, like the war, people were dying, and war is not something to take light, right? Um,
I know
so
it.
many lives got lost, and place got destroyed. Uh, yeah, I couldn't accept that, because such a beautiful country.
Oh, yes. Oh, I
Yeah.
just got a chill. I know. I'm sorry you had to live through that, but I'm so happy that you have had the strength to not only get through that with your family, but then to go on and be a beautiful member of society and start to raise your own family. That says a lot about you, Nanthan, your courage and your strength, and your willingness to, I would say, be very flexible.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot there, just a lot. It's hard, for people in America. We haven't had much war here, in the last few hundred years, and so we see it, we hear it from other people, but I just would imagine that there's just no way, you're using your words to express how difficult it is, but I would not want to wish that on anybody, to have to go
Me
through
too.
those
Me too. I
experiences.
wouldn't I wouldn't want anybody to go through
Not
that.
a
Yeah.
single one.
I mean, it wasn't like not just me, I was lucky enough that I was able to come here and then started a
Yes.
new life. But there are so many
Yes.
other um people and friends of mine, who couldn't make it out. So, that's
Oh,
why I wanted to tell this in a story, like simple story that, a lot of people could appreciate it, and take, like, some people take things for granted. So I just wanted to tell them, there is a lot more in life than this,
yes,
people
indeed.
could have.
And yeah, not to settle. Pull up your bootstraps and find a better way. That's what your parents did.
Yeah.
And now, did you have siblings? Did I hear you say you had a brother?
Yeah, yeah. I have a brother and three sisters.
Okay.
They're all in Toronto. So I live in Ottawa.
Where are they? I'm sorry.
Toronto?
Oh, in Toronto.
Yeah,
Okay, perfect. All right. And that's how your book started, I believed, right?
that's
Was
correct.
you
Yeah,
were
yeah.
coming
So
into
we
the
we came
to
to
the
Toronto first.
airport?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
right. Oh my goodness. So, and are you close with them? Do you get to visit or see each other at all, your brother and sister?
Yeah, it's not like too far away from here, so it's a 4 hour drive. So
Okay.
yeah, they come and we visit time to time. So yeah, we're all in touch. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Nanthan. And so I just wanted to ask if there was something very special or passionate that you might like to share at this point.
Sure, Melissa. Yeah. So what motivated me, like writing from how I started writing actually. So it's
Yes.
because I think I was about 10 or 11 age, and then this was in Jaffna, Sri Lanka, and then I wrote an essay for my schoolwork, and then this was acknowledged by my homeschool teacher, and then she brought it up to other teachers and all that. This was where, and then they talked about it, and then that's they acknowledged that, and then so that motivated me. That made me realize I can write something. It wasn't a big essay, but then that appreciation made me write more, and that's
Yes.
how I
Yeah.
had it. But then maybe in teenagers, I didn't write so much. But then after I came here in Canada, then I started writing, small poems, and things like that. And then, after getting married, I started writing small, like I kept like you mentioned before, I kept a block for all my poems. And every
Right.
time when I go hiking and biking, I'll just write about the memories or travel trips,
Okay.
write it and keep it, and then all that uh, thought process were there. I wanted to write something, but I didn't know how to channel it and what to write at that time. But then like I mentioned earlier, when we booked about the trip to Sri Lanka, that's when all this came to reality.
And things just connected. So you're sort of, putting all these beautiful things in your vault, the poems, your thoughts, the experiences, kind of just keeping them in the vault. And then something I wanted to ask you, is there anything at this time that you feel very passionate about sharing with our audience? Let me hear what you have.
Sure, yeah. That's a good thing you asked me, Melissa. So, the whole thing about writing, I think it started about when I was 10 or 11 at that time. So I wrote an essay for my schoolwork or exam,
That's
and
right.
then that essay got uh, acknowledged by my homeschool teacher
Okay.
loudly, and then she shared with the other teachers and all that, and then they talked about it, and then they appreciated it a lot, and then I think that that motivated me to write more. um, that appreciation get me going, and then so every time when I get a chance, I'll write something at that time, and I don't know what I did with it after, but then at teenagers, I think I didn't do much. But then when I moved
Sure.
here, and then
Sure.
and I appreciated things in life, so I started writing small poems, and I created a Google blog. I don't think they support that now anymore, but I still have the account, so I'm able to keep everything in there, and not just about um, like so the poems could be about the adventure trips and stuff like that. So I kept everything in one place, and then I guess that's when I want, like, when I got the idea, I was able to recompile a lot of stuff from there.
Yes.
Even some of the poems I put it in the book that was written way before, so and I was able to use them in the book. So
Yes,
yeah.
and we were talking about keeping all those precious notes and memories and experiences all together. So when the right thing triggered them, you'd have all that ready for you. I know that was Good thinking, though, keeping them all actually in one place.
Yeah,
And
good thing about being organized, and small things will come in handy one day.
so you could access them again.
Yes.
And I know there have been, some very difficult, like you're writing about some of these experiences that were extremely difficult. I believe that you lost a couple of your best friends in your youth. And did you bury that away for a while, or I'm going to your heart here, babe, but how was it that you were able to write about those extremely difficult experiences?
So yeah, a lot of the stuff I didn't want to go too details.
Yeah,
Then I will get stuck in that memory, and then
I see.
I'll be buried in those memories. So it's just not about just my close friends, but after that, the fact that we all like scattered all over the place, and I
Yeah,
lost all my friends since then, right? People moved out, and then I didn't know anyone like where all other people were
I see.
until like later in some point, then I've been like, from Facebook or whatnot, we'll be like, oh, you here, you there, and then stuff like that, But yeah, a lot of people didn't make it out. We lost quite a few people due to the Civil War. Yeah,
Most
it's brutal.
the most challenging times. When you were writing, did you ever feel intimidated or worried about what other people would think? Did those emotions or cross your mind or in your belief system?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of things I was hesitated to write about,
Mm,
and then I did think about, what other people might think. But
yeah.
end of the day, this is my story. This is what I
Yes,
saw, and I'll tell it in an authentic way, and that's what I did. And if people needed to hear, they hear, and but I'm very sure, pretty sure a lot of people appreciated it. Even people who never been to Sri Lanka or wasn't born in Sri Lanka,
yes.
they were able to connect to the story. And a few people even called and then said, how touching it was, and they made them teared up and stuff like
Wow,
that. So that touched my heart. So it's a very authentic voice, a heartfelt story. So I have zero doubt it will go another way. Yeah.
that is. It's a journey to work through our own belief systems as we're writing a book of any kind, I believe. It takes us to the depth of our own heart and our
You're
own minds and
you're
ask questions of ourselves of who the person is. You talked about authenticity, and paying attention to that. I think makes a very fine writer. The people who are willing to go and get down into their hearts and and just bring up their real true self and share that. And you've done that apparently. And again, I'm just so looking forward to finishing the book. Very excited about that.
yeah. I can't wait to hear from you. Yeah, and you said it right. I think that's I can't say better than what you said. Yeah, like when you say it in an authentic way, and
Mhm.
people will resonate it easily with the
I
story.
think so too. I'm
Yeah,
learning a lot more about energy, energy matrix, energy medicine, energy everything. I'm studying a lot of that because these things were just not taught in our youth or as children. Our parents didn't know it, and but it's available now.
right.
And so to pay attention to that brings us all into our heart energy where authenticity comes from. So I'm glad you're in that club. Uh, I'm trying to be in that club and just put one foot in front of the other, Nanthan.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have any ideas for another project of any kind, either another book, a course, anything creative going on in the near future?
Not at the moment. So I needed some time to recharge, rewind, and
Yes.
yeah, definitely this gave me a good freedom to write about, to write,
Yes, yeah.
in so I would definitely would think about it. But right now, I just need to take some time for myself.
Well, good for you. You're going to be enjoying the success of your book. You have a big family trip, taking your family to your home. And so there are some exciting things in your life, and who knows what comes, after that.
Yeah.
A lot of excitement. Well, Nanthan, excuse me, my apologies, honey,
That's
Nanthan.
okay.
I just want to say thank you so much for spending some time here today. It's a wonderful platform here that we get to talk to new and aspiring authors and now best-selling authors and to hear their stories. Just thank you for being here. Echoes of 10B. Let's tell everyone where the best place is to buy that book.
So yeah, Echoes of 10B is available only on Amazon for now.
Okay.
So please, if you didn't get a chance, grab a copy. Just put Echoes of 10B. There shouldn't be any other titles with that name, or you can put Nanthan Selvaratnam, and it will come up.
Yes.
Yeah, beside that, thank you so much taking your time, Melissa. And you took the time out of from your busy schedule and talking to me. It means a lot. Thank you so much.
Well, it's certainly my pleasure, hon. And this is what we do too. This is the other part of authenticity is, you know, you like people a lot more. And so it feels good to what am I trying to say? Collaborate, work together, teamwork, help each other, do things, support your book and support the new authors of the world. It's a really good place to be.
Yeah.
And so I hope maybe we can talk you into an audio book maybe next year or something. But until then, we'll be, putting the word out about Echoes of 10B. And just want to say thank you again for being here, Nanthan. I'm going to talk to the audience just for a sec. I'll be right back, you guys. And just to our valued listeners and everyone who's watching, I want to thank you for joining us on this podcast, Empowering Voices from Book Writing Venture. Please remember to subscribe if you like this material and hit the like button. We're going to have a lot more authors coming out and talking about all kinds of different genres. Let's see, you can stay tuned to upcoming episodes, and there's really so much here at Book Writing Venture that we have to share with upcoming writers, or if you're already a writer and you want to do your second works, or you want to get into courses or other things, videos, movies, all kinds of things. We have people here, professionals, that can help you in every step of the way. And if you would leave some comments here for Nanthan down in our comments there, tell him how you liked it and go buy his book. And if you have any other questions, you can email me at melissa@bookwritingventure as well. I just like to say thank you, everyone, for being here. Nanthan, do you have one more thing to say, my darling?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I said, do you have one more thing to say?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm always nervous behind camera, and that was something I wanted to break in the new year. And then
Okay.
thanks to you and Book Writing Adventure to give me this opportunity and right on the new year. So I'm happy that I came out of my fear and did this for the first time. So I'm glad for this opportunity and grateful.
Well, I'm glad we were your first, and you look great, by the way. You're very comfortable. You're natural. You're handsome. You just feel good. Go
Thank you.
forward feeling good. You did a great job here today, honey.
Thank you so much.
And we like to thank David, our coach, right? Our was David your agent as well?
Yeah. David
right,
was
through
my
Book
agent.
Writing Venture. And I always like to say thanks to David because he's an amazing man. He does a lot of good things for a lot of people.
Yeah. He helped me a lot with that too. Yeah. So
as inspiration, making sure that, we keep our focus and move forward. So a lot of help here. And Nanthan, hun, thank you so much. I wish you the best going forward. This is going to be a really great year. There's opportunity everywhere, even in the midst of chaos. You proved that with your life and the story and your story. And I hope that that carries to our audience, that there is always love available and opportunity even in the midst of chaos. And so thank you for writing Echoes of 10B. And I wish you just the very best, you and your family, in the coming year, Nanthan.
Yeah, I wish you the same, and best of luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling. And again, I'm your host, Melissa Guccione. And until next time, remember that Book Writing Venture is your partner in success. And so keep dreaming big, everybody. Oh, let's get my hands in there. Big. And we'll see you next week. Bye for now.